All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakah Kodash. Double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Through the Spirit, I just wanted to do a quick, video, Lord willing, be edifying to the elect. All right, it's just a nice, quick morning video. So, basically on the topic of, being the messengers, all right, of God, being the messengers of the Most High. So, let me just put this on Do Not Disturb. Yeah. So, being the messengers, that's a spirit, because that's what I'm doing right now. Being the messengers of the Most High. All right, because you got to understand that there's this people really think that the Lord is if the Lord wanted to talk to them, the Lord will come to them specifically in a dream, and I'm talking about these average people, not even prophets. All right, but the average civilian, they think if the Most High wanted to talk to them, he'd get off his throne and come and manifest himself physically before them and tell them so and so, drive your car and take the I-95 today and take a left instead of making a right. Like the Lord's gonna come off his throne just to tell you something like that, not understanding that the Most High has been speaking. Okay, matter of fact, I'll start with that precept. He's been speaking, all right, from since the world began, all right. But you just have to understand that the way he speaks is by the mouth of his prophets. All right. So this is Luke chapter 1, verse 70. As he spake, all right, by the matter of fact, I started at 69, and hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. All right, and that's Yahweh Shai. Him coming and being that sacrificial lamb. All right, is how, Lord willing, we are able to gain that salvation. All right, through the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai. It says, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets. Who did that? The Most High. All right, he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, because what? He put his spirit in us, all right, so we can utter these words. So it says, which have been since the world began. Okay, so the prophets have been there since the world began, and that's how the Lord communicated, all right, on the earth by way of his prophets. Okay. And you gotta understand, man, that the Lord picks, just like if you get a mic, you select the mic. The mic doesn't select you. All right, the Lord picks who he wants to be his messengers. All right, who he wants to be his prophets. We don't get to decide. All right. So this is Matthew chapter 10, verse 20. All right, one of my favorite precepts. It says, for it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. All right, and for brothers, and really anybody that's been around us can tell that, when somebody's in the spirit, all right, and they're speaking through the spirit, they don't sound like they sound regularly, like the way you sound when you're doing the sit down is not the way you sound when you're just talking in your regular life, because it's not really you that's speaking, it's the Spirit of the Heavenly Father that's upon you. All right, that's why certain words, certain things you may say, you might not even have thought of. You're speaking through the Spirit. All right, because we don't premeditate the exact words we're gonna say. We just speak through the Spirit. All right, and we trust and believe that it's the Spirit, and that's why we're able to continue doing it. So it says, it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. Okay, showing you, man. See, but that's why these people, they're not spiritual. They can't see that. They get caught up on what we look like. And I went to high school with you, and I know you, or you live down my block, so that they don't even hear the words you're saying. All right, to even consider that, these words are not of men. You can't just get up out of nowhere and just understand these and be speaking words like this. And it's as though they can't accept, a lot of them, they can't humble down to learn from somebody, all right, that's not in a suit and tie, all right, driving the shiniest car out in the world, because we look like average people. And the brother was saying this, our knowledge doesn't match our appearance, so it's hard for them to compute. They're like, how it has to be a lie, because how can such knowledge come from such a vessel? Because they're not looking at it spiritually. Okay. So this is John chapter 15, verse 16. It says, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. Okay. And this cuts the whole, oh, I accept Jesus into my life and I choose to follow God now. That it doesn't work that way. Okay? We were all up in the world because you can choose, matter of fact, you can choose, all right, to follow Jesus and God, but you can't choose to follow Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. He has to put the spirit in you for you to do that. Because for you to even know about him, let alone believe in him, it has to be from him. The scriptures say, which I'm gonna pull it up real quick. All right. The faith that we've been given, okay, is really a gift. All right. It says Ephesians 2 verse 8, for by grace ye are saved through faith. Why? Because faith is what's gonna make us believe unto salvation. All right, and through that belief and that faith, we do the works. It says, and not of yourselves, it is a gift of the Most High. So in order for you to believe, the Lord has to choose you. The Lord has to choose to bestow that faith upon you, all right, for you to believe in him. So he can reveal himself to you and you can go and do his works. So the Lord chooses his messengers. He chooses his prophets. It just so happened that he chose us to do the works, to do his works, all right, and we're grateful for that. Okay? Whether you believe right now that we're the messengers of God or not, when the things that we've been prophesying of come to pass, which they already are, but when it gets to the point where it's affecting you in your personal life and you can't escape it, you're going to believe. One way or the other, everybody on the planet Earth is going to believe and know, all right, that the Most High's name is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and we are his men. Because whether you believe it now or you believe it later, you're still going to believe it. All right, so it says, but I have chosen you and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit. All right, so this is why the Lord gave us this knowledge and the talents to go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit shall remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. And things we're supposed to be asking for are things that'll help us bring more fruit, because that's what's essential for the time we're in right now. All right, faith, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, patience, integrity. All right. I think I got a couple more. All right, this is I got this one. This is Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. Now, this is talking about Jeremiah. However, spiritually, it's talking about the 144,000, the elect, because before we were born, the Lord knew us, all right, and he ordained us to be prophets. But keep in mind, the Lord said it to a certain point in your life where you would come across the truth. It didn't happen by coincidence. It didn't happen by chance. Before you even were conceived, the Lord had ordained it that at 25 years old you'd come into the truth, or at 16 you find out about the truth, or at whatever age you came into the truth. All right. So it says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And that's why the spirit, all right, of those men who are doing the works of the Lord was different from the beginning, from birth. Even if you were doing some wicked shit, your spirit was still different, whether you realize it or not, because the Lord had what? Sanctified us. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. See? So when we tell you that we're doing the works of the Lord and we're messengers of God, it's not because we're proud and we chose to be. The Lord chose us. Okay? And for those of you out there, you'd be wise, it'd do you good to take heed to the message. All right? Because it's not from us, it's from the Heavenly Father. We can't, these prophecies we're speaking of, we're not the ones who are going to make it come to pass. The man upstairs, he's the one who's going to make it come to pass, because what did he say? All right, he said, the Lord said his word, Isaiah 55:11, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, it shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So this is still going to happen, all right? But we're pushing that the Lord's word, all right? We're prophesying it because we know it's going to happen, all right? So, man, I got a couple more precepts. This is Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old. All right, now this is also an indicator as to who the prophets of the Lord are, because Jeremiah was doing this, all right, and the prophets before him were doing this. Meaning this is the job of the prophets. This is what the prophets did. the true prophets. All right. It says, prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. These are all bad things. All right. And who do you see prophesying of that? All right. We're not out here. Well, Jeremiah 28:9, the prophet which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him. What's a precept for that? Ezekiel 33:33. See, when the prophecies come to pass, that's when people are going to know who the true prophets are. It says, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will, talking about the prophecies, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. All right. So those prophesying of peace and making merry in the time when Jacob's troubles come in, is going to be found out that they're false prophets. All right. But guess what? Not only is it going to be found out, but they're going to be destroyed along with those that followed them. All right. Now, in the time of their destruction, they're going to know that we were telling the truth, because we're doing the same things that Jeremiah and the prophets before him did, because we're those same prophets coming back. Okay, they're going to know that, but they're also going to understand that if that's true, all right, and we are the men of the Lord, then they came against us, then that means that they're not, and they're going to suffer judgment. All right, so I ended with this. It says John chapter 14 verse 10. It says, believest thou not that I am in the Father and the Father in me? Let me just put this on. All right, so it's Yahushua speaking. The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. See? And that's the same spirit we're in. We're not speaking of ourselves. We can't orchestrate the scriptures. We didn't put it together. The concept and the words in here are divinely inspired. All right? So it says, believe me that I am in the Father and the Father in me, or else believe me for the very work's sake. And Yahushua said, what? Because he is in the Father and the Father in him, them having that one accord, that one like mind, the words he's speaking is of his Father, not of himself. And that's the same spirit we're in. Because, let me end it with this. Because Yahushua said, all right, by way of his sacrifice, man, it's not just him and the Father being in one accord, but the elect along with them. Okay, so I'm gonna just jump to it real quick. See if I can find it. There it is. There it is. It says, John 17 verse 19, and for their sakes I sanctify myself, that they also might be sanctified through the truth. Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word, that they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us. So see how here the Lord said what? He says, I am in the Father and the Father in me. All right. So, but in John 17th chapter, the elect is in that. Okay. So the elect are on one accord with Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. All right. Which is why the words we speak, all right, are not our words. Just like when Yahushai, and when he was on the earth doing the works, it wasn't his works. It was the works of his heavenly Father. That's why he said, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me. And that's the same thing. That's the same spirit we're in. All right. We're doing the will of Yahweh in the name of Yahushai. So I'm going to finish it. It says, that they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. All right. And this right here showing you, man, that when it says they're one, doesn't mean that they're one entity, because, hey, low willing, I'm of the elect, and all the other brothers across the world, all right, sincerely pushing the word are of the elect. How come we're not one physical entity as the Most High? See, if we're one, all right, or if, matter of fact, if the elect are one with Yahushua and Yahweh, all right, how come they're not all just one being? No, there's one body, all right, but we're different entities. We're on one accord, all right. We're on one accord because it's the same spirit, all right, through the Father and the same spirit from the Father through His Son, all right, into His men, which puts them on one accord, okay. But you know, that's it. Lord willing, this video was edifying unto the elect. you know, and like we're able to learn something in this video. All right, hey man, it's our job to keep on pushing these videos, keep on, you know what I mean, building brothers up, man, because the times that we're coming into, this is all you're gonna have. All right, what you know, what you learned, that's all you're gonna have. All right, so just continue to stay in prayer, continue to study, and just stay in the spirit. Shalom.